Keep typing in USPs in here and okay, when targeting my avatar. Okay, we're gonna answer questions in a minute. So we have a bunch of people still straggling in. You did good on you for showing up, because I'm gonna reset you. My goal with this session is to reset you. Not that you need resetting per se, but I want to make sure that you're doing the right things in the first 30 days. So let's dig in here. I'll start the broadcast. And then what I want to do is a quick visual check. So we did an audio check. Tell me you can see full screen, because I just got a new iMac. I'm geeking out over it. I have like 3 monitors. It looks like the cabin of the Starship Enterprise here in my office. Okay. Drew, you said you could use a reset. We all could. I get one very frequently from my wife whenever I do something wrong. Just kidding, Liz. Okay. We see the next slide. Everything looks good. So you guys full screen. You're not seeing the my notes with the 2 slides. You're seeing one big slide, right, with some gearheads, correct? Awesome. Okay, let's get Zach really quick and we'll dig in. And by the way, you guys are really doing a great job at welcoming each other. Just think about this is our house, this is our family, and when someone comes over, we welcome them. And I know some of you guys are really noticing the new members. We've had like 42 or 44 new members just in the last 3 weeks. Awesome. And the caliber of folks has been astounding to me. Most people are superiorly overeducated compared to myself and just have a lot of experience and acumen. And it just serves what we're trying to do, which is just put things into alignment. You know your business. You know you can serve clients if you can get them. You're just not really clear on those 2 or 3 simple micro steps you need to have in place. Okay, so now Pamela says 2 slides. Ooh, we're in the 2 slides mode. Okay, 2 slides. So I need to switch my monitor dealio here. Here, 1 second. I'm glad you guys said that. Let me go to 1 slide mode, man. Okay, I know why. Because you have to tell GoToMeeting to show screen 2. All right, give me a 1 slide, check 1, 2, 3. Hey, Rhonda. I help companies looking for environmental friendly products with a paper that doesn't use trees, water, toxic chemicals, help reduce their carbon footprint. Okay, I'll help you complete that. That's a good start, and I love what you're doing. That's really meaningful work. By the way, give me a 1 slide. Okay, 1 slide, big show. Boom, says Gerald Wilson, PhD. Hey, Gerald, welcome. PhDs and MBAs, and here I am sitting in my sweatpants. So I love what you're doing. You help companies looking for environmental friendly products, but I have a client that consults companies on carbon neutral. So they convert everything in their company. They use composting, and the companies, quite frankly, needed a metric. All the mission stuff is great, but when you're doing nonprofit or environmental work, you still need a metric. I help them increase the community perception of them. I help them reduce employee turnover by I help them attract better, more skilled talent at lower rates, because by having a environmental friendly culture in the company, I reduce waste. I reduced the number of SKUs. I increased the profitability of the company by 30% within 6 months. So what's the metric and what's the time? Drew says, okay, PhD, post hole digger. That's funny. Okay, now 1 slide. Let's rock and roll. Let's get going here. So we're recording. We have the slides up. What can go wrong, right? So the coaching webinar, I want to break down some content. Usually these sessions, and by the way, this is a bonus session. I just wanted to really stop and do a quick reset. So normally these sessions have 3 goals. What are you working on right now? What is one win or positive thing you can share with the group? And what are you struggling with? What's the one thing that's holding you back that other members or myself can help you clear? So we're removing the friction, which is awesome. That's what we want to do. Is the thing about this session is let's make sure you're clear on your strategy, on your runway to success. And then the coaching sessions are like, how do we clear any friction you're seeing there? It's all about what it takes to win. A couple just quick little notes I've seen. 82% of us are being accountable, which is an amazing percentage compared to most other communities I've seen. Keep it up. And let me tell you why I'm saying keep it up. because we all get honeymoon syndrome. You guys as entrepreneurs, business owners, whether this is full-time or you're still kind of figuring out how to leverage your talent and find the right market. Sorry, there's a delivery truck downstairs. It doesn't matter if it's full-time or part-time. You're doing something because you have a passion that you want to bring to a larger audience. And what happens is you're already in a different class. Just being in this community puts you in a totally different class. So you're surrounding yourself with people who share your mission and vision for a greater, whatever that is, greater existence, life, profitability, freedom of time, finances, whatever. But what we do as humans is we scratch the itch and then we move on. So there's only two. Well, let me tell you what I mean. That's the New Year's Eve gym spike. So everybody signs up for the gym on January 3rd, and then they work out until January 9th, and then they go back to the Twinkies. That's my pattern. And that's what we do with online products. That's what we do when we go to an awesome seminar. You go to the product launch formula or the Brendon Burchard, like dancing around the room with everybody, high-fiving. Then you take that binder, and as soon as your plane takes off, or as soon as you pull your car out of the parking lot from that awesome, inspiring, motivational event, your likelihood of implementing starts to just erode erratically. So I don't want you to have honeymoon syndrome here. There's only two ways you can fail at hitting your goals. Number one is by not starting, which we've already crushed that because you're already here. You've already decided to take a step down that alternate path to a much more, hopefully, stress-free and semi-automated existence with your business. And then the second way you can fail is quitting along the way. And what people do, a certain percentage, I have other, people you've probably are familiar with in masterminds that I'm part of, and they all have membership sites and say, yeah, it's okay. 80% of the people don't use it, but focus on the 20 that will. I think that's malarkey. I don't want to have that kind of community. I want you to be here because you've already committed, and I want you to keep the commitment. So don't do what, unfortunately, 80% of society does, is they think they help their business and made themselves feel better by joining a community. And then they kind of show up twice. They do 2 accountability posts. They miss week 3. Maybe they'll do a 5th week accountability post and maybe try to throw together a lead magnet. They hit some resistance. Instead of coming to the community and saying, hey, I'm struggling. I can't get my Facebook ads to work. No one cares about my lead magnet. They just throw their hands up and say, yeah, I figured direct mail was better anyway. The interwebs don't work. So I want to call you to task. And I don't want to be a salesy person, but a couple of you guys have recently upgraded your memberships, which I love for financial reasons, but more help. But as a coach, I love the commitment. So if you've already decided you like the community, you can upgrade, to annual or lifetime. I'm not saying that as a sales pitch. I'm just saying do what it takes to have stakes so you show up and make it happen. 30% of the people that signed up for lifetime. I didn't even think that would really be, an effective thing to offer. But, people I really trust said, no, people want to know that they have access, and some people just take that action. And I feel good about it because I know, hey, you're going to implement. Some people treat it like insurance. Some people go implement a funnel. It works. And then they'll come back, 3 weeks later saying, yeah, now I want to do an evergreen launch. I'm going to learn that. So those of you that have been, and I'm not going to pontificate for much longer, but one more thing, those of you that are confused and you come in the membership like, oh, what do I do first? I'm going to cover that right now. That's why we're here. But I also want you to think about this as kind of a grocery store. I'm always going to be adding new content and content from myself and experts and, cheat sheets and frameworks. Don't suffer from that information overload and put that on yourself. Just think about it as a grocery store. You go to the grocery store that has good organic food, and you get the 2 or 3 things you need for the next few meals, and you know that the store is there. So if you have a working funnel in place and then you need to make some tweaks, or maybe you want to add some content marketing, or it's time to look at maybe adding LinkedIn because you've already crushed Facebook ads. Crushed is Southern California for done a good job with or succeeded at. Sorry for the bro talk. So just think of it that way. It's like marketing insurance, but only after you have a funnel live. Some of you in the accountability I'm seeing are putting things maybe that you were doing before, like, yeah, I'm going to launch a Pinterest page, but you don't have a funnel working yet. So this is why I want to reset. I want to cover a quick 30-day quick start checklist so you know what you should be doing if you're following this system. If you don't have a high converting funnel where you know you can send traffic from Facebook, live events, organic search results, direct mail, LinkedIn, and you know that when you put 1,000 people in the top, you can get 10 or 15 customers out the back and make a profit, then stop what you're doing. You don't need to write another blog post or even launch your new website. Your new website doesn't matter. Most of you that have joined this community probably never looked at my website. You probably opted in for something. You saw some value that you liked. Maybe you increased your engagement by looking at a webinar or a online workshop series, and then you signed up. Think about that. You don't need a website. And what's funny about that is most of you are here because you opted in for a website cheat sheet. You have to address people's perceived need and then educate them to show them their real need. Anyway, quick start. Any questions so far? A couple comments. The hardest part is to stay, Zoltan says this, the hardest part is to stay accountable when you work from your home. That's why the best way to handle this is join a community. But you have to stay active. Absolutely. That's the key for me. I joined, I had one membership. As Liz, who you guys have seen the community, my wife, she said, hey, what's this thing for $97 for the last 2 years? I'm like, oh, I have no idea. So you don't want to be that kind of person. Anyway, any other questions about what I've said so far? I'm getting good comments, accountability. Thank you, makes sense. Okay, let's roll in to the quick start, and then we're going to have a couple moments to dig a little bit more deeply on your USP. So most of you have seen this 10X funnel map. You've downloaded it, hopefully going through the workshop series, maybe filled it out. Just give me a yes if you've filled this out, or maybe a no if you haven't, so I know you can hear me and you're on board. Has anybody completed this framework before, or as of yet? Not yet. Halfway. Awesome. Printed it out. Not filled it out. Not yet. Okay. So what this is, and by the way, this is my accountability to you, is to be way more clear and put more emphasis on the most important things. So this is my role to get you to fill this out. And after this call, you'll understand that you have to. Okay, not this one, not completed. Okay, here's the deal. This is your printed on the wall plan for what you should be doing. And I'm going to explain. This is kind of like the Cliff Notes version of your whole strategy for the next 90 days to 1 year, depending on how sophisticated you are, how long it takes you to implement. You need to get clear on these critical elements before you're ready to rock and roll. Now, some of them will come later, like how are you going to measure your marketing? Doesn't matter. You don't have a funnel yet. What are you going to offer for upsells? That kind of thing doesn't matter. But we need to get you up to traffic source. These first 6 things are what you should be at least documenting in the next 30 days. And I'm going to run you through them with a little bit more detail than you may have received during the free version of the workshop. And I just want you to have 2 takeaways. Take the frameworks, print them out, or if you have a tablet or something, leave them digital for our people that provide paperless trees here. Fill them out, and then they all roll into this one page. So once you fill out these first 6 frameworks, you need to consolidate them and just fill out this one page. So if I know that my one avatar is a 40-year-old plus male insurance broker in Canada, I'm going to put that here. And I want his name. His name's Jim. If I've done my transformation framework, which we'll talk about in a minute, my USP, I'm going to say I help Canadian, mid-sized Canadian insurance firms double their profit and sales within 90 days without spending a lot on advertising or tech frustration. That's what my transformation is. I have a timeline and I have a metric. My IP, this is what most people are skipping. I'm going to show you Zach, who's on the call here, a couple other folks. I'm going to give you some examples in a moment. And I had someone in my higher end mastermind yesterday just show up to our call and said, hey, here's my lead magnet, check it out. And I said, well, where does that fit in your framework? Like, yeah, that looks cool, but there's no context. In order to be able to solve one problem for someone and have that really continue your sales process, you have to show them where the problem you solved lives in their greater journey that you can help them through. Each one of you needs to have a one-page client transformation framework or a signature system that shows where they are now, where they want to go, and the steps you take to get them there. It's that simple, and you need to actually fill it out and have it graphic. Have it a one-page framework like the Fletcher method, like some of the others I'll show you. And then, this isn't even important right now, but think about once they opt in for your lead magnet, what's the next step? Are you going to go right for a sales consultation? Are they going to go to a webinar? Are they going to go to maybe an evergreen launch video series like most of you have gone through? If you don't know the answers, that's good. The purpose of this is to ask the right questions so you can work and refine the answers, but you have to be asking the right questions. So does that make sense? I want you to print this out. This is in the membership site and under frameworks, the 10X funnel map. I'll send you a link in the notes here, but we want to print this out and first fill out all the frameworks we're going to buzz through right now, but actually fill this out, hang it up in front of you, and upload it to the membership site. Say, here is my funnel map, how I'm going to 10X my business. What do you guys think? And people will say, the avatar isn't clear enough, because you'll say, I help service companies. They need to be insurance brokers. I was on a really good strategy session yesterday with one of you, and he said, yeah, I want to help small businesses. Like, yeah, good luck with that. You need to start helping veterinarians. Then you can prove a model, then add lawyers, and then add whatever. So you need to have a specific customer with one specific product, and that's the only way you're going to get traction. Eventually, you can go help everybody in the world, but go get 100 of these customers first, then we can expand. Okay, so let's look at, I've completed mine in my head. That's what I do most of the time, but my problem is I wake up with a reset, so I lose it. Okay, so most of you haven't done it. That's good. If you all had, I would tell you to go watch Golden Girls, but you haven't, so you're in the right place. Hopefully you know Golden Girls. I'm not dating myself. Okay, do you have a couple questions? Do you have a completed example? I do. There's examples in the membership. I'll show you a couple here. Aaron, do you have everything, all your handouts, and sequential, and most other stuff available in PDF? Yep. And your binder, I have that. What I'm going to give you is kind of these frameworks just in a quick start packet. So you have them all in one place. I don't want you to have to go get them separately. I'll just put them into a quick start kind of packet, and I'll upload that today. So you all have these, including the funnel, the first map, and everything else. So what I've learned from strategy sessions, and a lot of you have done a strategy session with me, it's not required by any means. It's just a good way if you just want to kind of start implementing more quickly, or you're not clear and you want more help, then you can get in the community in real time. So the strategy session is just where we fill these out together, and then I give you homework, and then I come back and review them, and then we kind of sign off on your plan. But you don't need that. What you need to do is get clear in your avatar. I'm going to add something here. You need to fill out the avatar framework, and trust me, start with one. Zach, who's here, has a very successful training business. We had a strategy session, and we said, yeah, I can help all these different people with my strength training and athletic performance services. I can do athletes, adults, professionals, golfers, baseball players. I'm like, cool. Well, let's go get 40 baseball clients, then we'll add golf. Don't just say, I help everybody do everything. It doesn't work. So we agreed on one avatar. And for every strategy session I do, we have to agree on one avatar to start with. We could have 50. I have 6, right? I have online marketers. I have small local business owners. I have online e-commerce companies that have kind of an online store. I have different avatars. I market to them differently, but it wouldn't have worked if I didn't nail one first. I nailed lawyers for 3 years. I sold one service to lawyers for 3 years, then I expanded. Okay, let's go see where we are. Okay, I don't know where in the forum to enter my introduction message, my USP. So here's what I want you to do in the forum. I'll show you in a moment. Just go the best place. A lot of people, this is a great question, by the way. I really appreciate the question because keep them coming because I need to clarify them, Rhonda. So thank you. The answer is, and by the way, you should call your framework the real McCoy. Sorry. The answer is go to the fast feedback because that's where I look 2 to 3 times a day. Some of you have posted questions that I came back to much later and found, which is my mistake because you'll say, hey, you'll be going through the avatar training, which makes sense. Hey, here's mine. What do you think? But I think the best place, if you want just direct feedback based on one framework, one lead magnet, one piece of information, or you say, hey, I launched my website. What do you think? And then I'll give you a quick review of it and help you get clear. The fast feedback forum. So if you go into the community, let me exit out here and just go to somewhere in here. There's a feedback forum, and it just says fast feedback. Let me zoom in here, but tell me if you can see this, Rhonda. Okay, I'll zoom in, and there's fast feedback. So this is where I kind of look, if nowhere else. So I'll come back here and say, okay, because this is where people say, hey, I have something I'm trying to launch. I need some feedback. It'd be really helpful. So like, here's an example of Ray saying, hey, I launched my website. What do you think? I gave him a quick overview of that. I might do it in text. I'm not going to make a video for every piece of feedback. That would take me longer than it would. I would never catch up. But depending on how much help you've received and what the content, the subject matter is. If it's just hey, here's my avatar, I can give you quick feedback. If it's your whole funnel or something, then I might dig in there, or even jump on an impromptu call with you and help you get clear. So that's a good place. Hopefully that answers your question. Tell me if that answers your question, Rhonda. Okay. Good to go. Any other questions about that so far? Okay. And what I want to add, when you're getting clear in your avatar, I want you to add Facebook groups because 99% of you, your first traffic source I'm going to push you toward would be Facebook. Some of you like Pam are already doing successful funnels on Facebook. You get the power of it. I can get leads for less than $1 if you do it using this system, with a quick lead magnet that I'll cover in a moment. But what I want you to do in psychographics here in this framework is I want you to type in the Facebook groups or pages you think that they would like. Okay, I'll send it to you, Rhonda, and make sure you're clear. Oh, you know what I did? That was silly. I just did something really silly. I showed the wrong screen, and you're sitting going, what's he doing? Okay, so here we are in the community, Rhonda and others. There's a fast feedback forum right here, and so I just walked you through something on the wrong monitor that was really ninja. And somebody like Ray would say, hey, here's my website. What do you think? I'll walk through a couple tips, pointers for higher conversions, give feedback. And so the fast feedback forum is a good place. So hopefully that's more clear. Sorry about that. I was totally on the wrong screen. Anyway, so let's move more quickly. What I mean by Facebook groups, if you haven't used Facebook Open Graph Search, you can just use Google and type in, like if you're going after veterinarians, type in Veterinarians Association. Find the names of the top associations and publications. That's what psychographics are. I'm going to clarify this framework and say, what do they read? What associations do they belong to? And then I can go on Facebook and create a good list at targeting them. So I can target, I know lawyers. I know that there's like the American Bar Association, there's California Lawyer Magazine, there's all kinds of different watering holes I know lawyers hang out in. So it's like, how are we going to find people on Facebook? We can't just say, I want to go after lawyers. And by the way, they have some of that information that you can target. Oh yes, the trick Drew said, Open Graph. Okay, let me show you that. So so fill out this framework and use Facebook groups and pages. Let me show you how to do that in a very efficient way. Let me go to the browser that might have Facebook ready, and I'll show you that. Okay, we'll kill the Evernote, and I'll go to the Facebook. So let me make this window smaller. So here's what I want you to do. If you haven't used Facebook, open Graph Search. It's super ninja. Let's see. Leads for 79 cents. Pretty good deal. Let's go to Facebook. Let's go to the Facebook. And let's say, somebody give me your target. Let's do some real deal here. Oh, great baby. Give me one of you guys, tell me your specific avatar. And I don't mean to use the masculine, one of you folks. Give me your avatar. I'm targeting veterinarians in the U.S., Canadian insurance companies. Okay. Life coaches, craft beer lovers. Well, you found them. Okay, life coaches. So I know that there's all kinds of groups of environmentally friendly companies. So what industries, what types of companies, what publications exist for green living and companies? What would they read? Forex traders, accident victims near Philadelphia. There's a I'll speak to that, Joe, in a minute. That's my bailiwick is law firm lead generation. Accident victims are not going to be on Facebook. They're going to be on Google, but there's a way to get them more cost effectively. Owner of neuropharmaceutical in Florida. Yep, targeting auto repair shops, independent. So pretty much across the board. So let's just take life coaches or craft beer lovers. Let's say life coaches. So Pamela, and I'll go to craft beer in a minute if I have time. Let's go to, tell me, Pamela, what groups are good to target on Facebook? What pages or groups are you able to target on Facebook right now? I know like life coach is a little bit different. There's for business coaches, you have action coach. There's all kinds of holistic certification bodies out there for life coaching. There's the Tony Robbins Institute certifies life coaches. So who certifies life coaches? Gurus, right? So they follow people like Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey, who I don't know who that is. So I'll do that because I want to do something I'm totally green to. So if I go look at that name that you just said, and I say Mary Morrissey, awesome. So that's pretty solid. That's 61,000 people like. So that's a really good audience. I would never target something unless it was super niched. Like I have a campaign I run, the ad I just saw targeting elder law attorneys, and there's only like 7,000 in the whole United States. But I know they have a high conversion. Yeah, so you look at Tony Robbins, Allie Brown, Jim Rohn. So we know these people are. If I didn't, I mean, Pam already marketed successfully on Facebook. Let's just say I was her and I was just starting out. I would say, okay, well, let me see pages liked by people who like Mary Morrissey, right? So this is going to give me some really good insight into, this is the most sophisticated, yes, I did. This is the most sophisticated search engine on the planet. If you look at all the stuff you give, did I do Morrissey, the artist? That's awesome. I do not like Morrissey. So if I look at all the pages liked by people who like Mary Morrissey or Brian Tracy, let's try Brian Tracy. Tracy. So what are all the pages that people like who like Brian Tracy as well? Why isn't it showing me my groups and pages right now? Let's see what account I'm logged in under. So if I look at all the different the books, I could search under books. I can search by pages, groups. I'm not going to get into Facebook targeting using custom audiences or audience insights. We're going to do a whole big training on Facebook ads with Nicholas Kuzmich, a friend of mine who's a ninja at this. Yeah, there is a freight train. Sorry. Well, that's what happens when you're by the ocean, by the train tracks. I'm really in Duluth. It's all a front. So you can search and just find anything relevant to, let's say, how many people like Brian Tracy, right? So how many people like this page? 1.3 million. To me, that's borderline on too general, because he has such an audience of consumers that I don't want to cross that chasm. I don't want to advertise to consumers. I want to really tighten in to life coaches. So I would start with smaller groups that are definitely certification bodies for life coaches, like the Robbins Institute, Life Coaching Institute, or Life Coach Certification, right? Yes. So what I can do is like let's just say I know a lot of people in my audience like Think and Grow Rich. So everything that you fill out in your Facebook profile is used, quote unquote, against you. Doesn't mean you should do one of those weird posts that says, I give Facebook the right. Those are fake. But Think and Grow Rich, 500,000 people. So if I would say, I could target on Facebook just people who like that book, or I can say books read by people who like Think and Grow Rich, and I could just keep going and find. I can just search under any kind of form of content that I want and dig down. Now, this is not how I target my first advertising. I target, let's see if there's pages liked by people. Pages liked by people. Why am I not getting any results in my search? Maybe they figured me out. But you can search under any type of anything that's in your profile. I mean, literally anything that is existing in your profile, whether it's a book you've read, a group that you've liked, a group that you're part of, a page that you've liked, you can target. Craft brew, there's publications, there's all kinds of resources out there. Like if you're looking at craft brewers or consumers, you can say there's associations. If you're looking for veterinarians, if I can say, National Veterinarians, and I'm going to say, okay, National Veterinarians Associates. I can find all the associations and groups, and I can then go on Facebook. So I can make a list of what are all the trade associations and publications. If they're dentists, they read Dentistry Today magazine, like the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. If they're lawyers, there's a whole different set. Any possible demographic can be targeted, and psychographics. What do they read? What do they do? What you can't target this way, what's a poor idea to target using Facebook, is event-based triggered events. So if someone just fell if someone just sprung a leak and they need a plumber, if you advertise to all homeowners on Facebook, you're going to be remiss to get an ROI in the short term, because you're going to advertise to millions of homeowners looking for the one person with a leaky pipe right now. If someone's just been in a car accident, and you're going to advertise everyone that owns a car on Facebook, and you're an injury lawyer, that's going to be not a good idea, right? But don't worry, Chad, you're in good hands. I'm recording this whole thing, as with all calls, so don't worry about being late. We're just going through your first 30 days, what you should be doing. Now we're talking about how to target your avatar more clearly. So look at associations, look at every kind of possible demographic, psychographic, what books they read, what do they do. Now, I've had this in my live event. I had a family law attorney debate this. And he said, well, I can't target on Facebook because people just go on Google when they're looking for a divorce. And I said, no, they don't. They go to Ashley Madison. No, I'm just kidding. I said, well, think about this. If you have a long-term strategy and you want to dominate your market, you can find anybody on Facebook. Perfect example. If you're a divorce lawyer and you want to pay $30 a click and you want to use Google AdWords and you want to be this guy or gal, top divorce attorney, I click on this ad and it's just probably going to be $29 or something ridiculous. Divorce lawyer, same thing. Google AdWords is so expensive. It's really good if you have an emergency-based service like plumbing, accidents, that kind of thing. But I told the divorce lawyer, well, think about it. What percentage of couples get divorced? Unfortunately, it's 50 something percent. Therefore, if I can market, if I know that 54% of all married people on Facebook will need me eventually, what if I put an ad that said the guide to long living happy marriage, right? They download that guide, and then I can nurture them with content about, hey, signs of, verbal abuse, or signs, when do you know you need a counselor, signs your spouse might not be true to you or whatever, cheating. And then I can build a relationship with thousands and thousands of families in my target area. You have to have patience, and to dominate a whole market like that, you have to use a lot of content marketing. But if you don't have an emergency-based service like an ambulance service, or you're going after people that were just in an auto accident, then you can you might use Google. But if I'm an auto or injury attorney, what would happen if I advertised the safest automobiles? The three things if you drive a Ford, I could target people that drive Fords. The three things your manufacturer doesn't want you to know. We just had an airbag recall and had a big debate with the manufacturer because we're driving our kids around in a car that has shrapnel if anyone gets in an accident. And they just said, hey, come in whenever and replace it. And I said, no, I'm not going to come in whenever. I'm going to bring it in right now. Please give me another car. So, you can address, you just have to have more patience if you're waiting for something that's triggered by an event, like an accident that would cause someone to go into senior care, an auto accident, or a broken pipe. For 99% of you, Facebook is where to go. So to zoom back out, just take your avatar framework, and your immediate goal is to type in every possible Facebook group and publication that you can target. So if you search on Google first and you say association of, I guarantee you'll find associations and groups. There's all kinds of trade associations for there's like a basket weaving association, right? Then, so that's your first thing. Actually fill it out, and this will help you for when you're ready for traffic, because you'll have who you're going to target. And again, I'm going to go into how to target on Facebook. A lot of people lump things together so they don't know what's working. I can get you under $1 a lead if you use my strategy. So we'll cover Facebook here. After we cover content creation and webinars, we're going to go into Facebook. So it'll be 3 trainings away, so about 4 weeks away. But if you have questions and you're running ads now, I will answer them. Anyway, once you know your avatar and you articulate your pains and frustrations, it comes down to this. If you haven't surveyed your market and you haven't worked with your market, don't guess. Don't say, I think veterinarians hate marketing because of this. That will not work. Okay? You need to go and meet with them and ask them. And if you have one customer that's a veterinarian, ask them to invite some friends for a meet and greet and ask them questions, or send a survey. Don't worry about getting customers, worry about getting information. Do a survey on Facebook and say the 2015 veterinarian survey, answer these top 3 questions, will give you the results. If you haven't read the book Ask by Ryan Levesque, it's awesome. It talks about using surveys to drive your marketing messages. So if you already have customers, you need to know when they come to you and they say, I wish I could help with this, or I'm frustrated about this. Is that how target Facebook already in the community? Yeah, I'll answer that in a minute. Drew, that's a good question. But listen, for your customers, when they come to you in your door, they say, man, I'm just frustrated with this, this, and this right now. What is it? What are the immediate frustrations? And then what are their goals and desires? So, I'm frustrated with this, and all I want is that. What do they tell you? Just write that down. Now, what some people have been struggling with is fears, implications, dreams, aspirations. It just means if they don't solve their pain on the upper left, what will happen? So if they're overweight, the fears implication is diabetes, losing a limb, being miserable and lonely, dying early. I mean, I'm not trying to be brutal, but what is the worst that can happen if they don't get their marketing right? They could go out of business and not be able to support their family. I'm not saying you're going to run ads saying you're going to go out of business. What I'm saying is when people come to you, they have real concerns in their life, and they say, I'm struggling with this, and I'm really worried about that in the long term. I'm really afraid of, if you have a matchmaking service, I'm really afraid of dying alone or being alone. Goals and desires. I just want to accomplish this. I just want to get more leads to my website. I just want to lose 5 pounds. I just want to increase my athletic performance. I just want to cut some of the environmental kind of burden for my company out. I just want to get my website squared away and reach more customers. Right? So if you think about that, you have to articulate just the simple things they want and why do they want it. See, a lot of us start with just our stuff instead of saying, so you can get more traffic to your website so you can double the number of customers and have freedom of time and finances, right? Let me shut this window because I'm getting for some reason, on webinar day, it's always train day. Hold on a second. Train day. Yes, I stand right by an open window, but no longer. So then you mash this up. Your goal is when you fill this out, if you have multiple avatars, start with the most important one now, and then you have to do the hard work of having one promise, just one. What is their biggest frustration? And don't guess. Fill out your avatar and then talk to 3 customers, 3 people that aren't even customers. Call them, get on the phone, go walk into veterinarians' offices, give them a free book or a gift. Say, look, I help veterinarians. I'm not here to sell you anything. I just want to interview you for 5 minutes and learn about your practice and what you're struggling with. What's their biggest frustration? Ask them. Maybe you'll do a 2-part survey. Ask them their biggest frustrations. Put those all into buckets, into 5 buckets. Wow, most of them fall into these 5. Say which one of these is the greatest frustration you're facing in your business right now? What's their single biggest goal? And that tells you what you should be focused on. The problem you should be solving in your marketing. Is it more customers? Because it's not traffic. It's not exercising. My biggest goal is to exercise more. No, it's not. It's to exercise more so I can lose weight and feel better about myself and be more confident and get a better job and be around longer for my family. That's my dream or aspiration. So you have to this comes right from the previous framework and actually fill this out. And then you come up with your magic statement that we started this webinar with. I help one specific avatar, not small businesses. And you can complement them, by the way, and add relevance. So if I'm going to target life coaches, I'm going to say I help passionate life coaches. Boom, I just hit a trigger. Because if you say that's not you, you're saying you're not passionate. If I say I help successful veterinarians' offices, if that's not me, I'm not successful. So I want to be, I help positive-minded entrepreneurs implement automated marketing systems so they could double their business in 90 days without tech overwhelm. I help busy, passionate mothers cook healthier for their family so they can have the peace of mind that comes with knowing they're doing the right thing for their kids without spending a lot of money on organic groceries. What is the biggest thing they're moving away from? That's the without. And what do you help them with so they can accomplish what? So what's the short-term thing you help them with, and what does that do for them, and what are they moving away from? So once you've done that, I want everyone to fill this out, and let's have one piece of homework is that, because this is the core of everything. Fill out this framework, and then go into the fast feedback forum and just say, here's my client transformation credo or USP. Just say, here it is. I help this, and that. And you could even put that as a signature in the community. That's one way to really get clear so everybody can see it. And you might even get some leads or partnership relationships. I help X accomplish, I help A accomplish B so they can accomplish C without D. How specific can you get? And then overlay a timeline and a metric. If you help people get, accomplish, trim, cut, grow, whatever you do, how can it be measured? What's the metric that it points to? Like if Zach says, I help baseball players increase their athletic performance, that's okay. But if I help baseball players increase their vertical and long jump by 20% so they can become a top prospect in a university and get a scholarship within 90 days, now I'm talking. Time, metrics. Does your USP have a timeline and a metric? So any questions about the USP? I'm going to move on to the last couple of things that you should be doing in the next 30 days. But is this helpful? Give me a question or tell me if you want to restate your USP. Don't be shy. I will not be critical other than to serve you. Go ahead and type in the USP. Tell me where you're coming from, what you do, why you do it. Let's see. Yep. The main thing that people miss out is they don't have a relevant audience. They say, I help people or business owners or coaches. They don't have a metric or a timeline. If I help you lose 6 pounds in 6 years, it's probably not very helpful. Yep, my experience has been working with clients, and I've gotten them success, but they don't know it. So this is a really big issue. I've had that happen earlier on in my career, where you help clients and you implement systems that transform things, and they can't quantify it because they're just not good business people in terms of being metrics focused. So that's your job in the beginning. I'm going to talk about that next. This is the most, I say a lot of things are the most powerful because I get really excited and geeky about marketing stuff. But your one system is the core of all of your marketing. And this is what a lot of you have skipped. You've said, I'm just going to go work on a lead magnet. I have to work on mine a bit more. Let me answer a couple quick questions about the last thing really quick. Pam says, I typically say is I equip coaches with the skills, strategies, and step-by-step instructions to build an on-fire, thriving success code without giving them their first love. So what if you had to say that in 6 words, right? And what I mean by that is I help, coaching businesses fill their practices to capacity so they can follow their passion of serving clients without working about where their next client's going to come from. So all the steps is nowhere near as important, and especially embedding your own nomenclature into it, because you don't want to use people will be introduced to your signature way of doing things, like your on fire strategy and all that thing. But right now they don't know you well enough when they first come in contact with you. So if you said, hi, I'm Pam and I help coaches triple the number of clients coming to their practice within 90 days so they can focus on serving and following their passion of serving their clients without worrying about where their next client's going to come from, or without being caught up in technology, so you can finally focus on what you love to do, right? I can quantify, but they don't know how to convert. Leads are coming up. Okay, so then you're going to help them do that, or you're going to sell them leads. Drew brings up a good point. You bring a meal to the door. If they can't reel it in, then the result's still the same as no results. USP says, Rhonda, I help businesses reduce their carbon footprint by 30%. See, it's already changed so much. Awesome. I'm using 1 ton of stone paper or something like that. Okay, so I think the transformation. So I want you to go back and just fill in the actual blanks. Use my exact formula. I help businesses. Nope. Start with one type of business. It sounds counterintuitive. Start with one. I help Northern California manufacturing companies, or North American automotive distributors. Like who is really going to save the most money if they implement your system? Not everyone uses the same amount of paper. Not everybody cares. So who is your best customer? And go get 10 of those and gear your message towards those, Rhonda. I help a more specific type of business reduce their carbon footprint by 80% within 90 days and saving 20% on their cost of paper goods, so they can have a better reputation in the community, attract more talent, and eliminate their carbon footprint, right? Metrics and time. Metric and time is for everybody. Metric time. I help product managers excel in their careers in 8 weeks. Chad, what does excelling in your career mean? What is a measurement of excelling in my career? How do I know I excelled in my career? Did I get a better job? Did I earn 60% more pay? Did I get a 80% pay raise and a promotion within 90 days, in 8 weeks rather, right? What if we improve a bunch of metrics? Okay, so so I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Each step of your framework has a metric, and there's an overall metric. So if you help them go from average to professional level athletic performance in 90 days, so they can become a top prospect, that's fine. Because if what you do has a lot of metrics, then you want to simplify it. This is a Joe Sugarman copywriting technique that really served me well. If what you do is complex, then you talk about the simple outcome. And if what you have is simple, like you're selling a pet rock, you talk about all the features, metrics, and process that went into it. So it's a little bit counterintuitive. And home care agencies increase their online leads by upwards of 17%. So I've worked with a lot of home care agencies. I'll help you with that. Drew, you just schedule a strategy session. We'll go deep if that's going to be your first avatar. I help personal injury victims get justly compensated for their injuries. Okay, so can you help them get compensated more quickly or at a higher rate? So I can help personal injury victims get compensated, because what they care about is that they're going to get compensated enough, and then it'll happen within some kind of reasonable time, because all the stall tactics and due process. So let me move on to the system. Keep the USPs going, put them in the community. This is the core of all of your marketing. It literally, once you know who you serve and how you serve them, then you have to say, okay, now let me show you the exact steps I can take you to get there. So people are skipping this, and it's my failure for not really emphasizing this in the introductory training. Let me have a sip of my Muscle Man on Crack. What the Muscle Man on Crack is, my local smoothie shop has a drink named after me, and it's protein, greens, and cappuccino. I know it's weird, but it gets you strong and tweaked at the same time. So, Joe Sugarman, what do you do is complex. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Drew. The resource is, if you haven't read the Adweek Copywriter's Handbook by Joe Sugarman. Joe Sugarman is one of the best copywriters of all time. He released the Blue Blockers infomercial products. He's amazing. But let's dig into this. This is we're almost there. I just want to make sure you have exactly what you need to do in the next 30 days. We're almost done. I'm just on time. So you need to really put what you do in context. I'm going to show you some real examples here. I'm going to show you Zach's. I'm going to show you Gary, who's one of my mastermind members, what he does for percussionists. I mean, you could do this for any business in the world, especially if what you do you think is commoditized. Like, I'm just another injury lawyer or accountant. If you have a commoditized marketplace, you have to do this more than anybody, because people just think there's no differentiation. This is how you create a market of one. They can't get the Aaron Fletcher system anywhere else. A lot of people have marketing and coaching, but no one does it in this order, with this level of simplicity, with these frameworks, with this name and this time. That's how you stand out in a market, crowded market. I would have no business if I just said, I mean, look at how I'm in the most competitive market on the planet, by the way. There's so many Frank Kerns and marketing gurus out there spending so much more money than I ever could. And I'm not going after a specific market. I'm not going after just lawyers. I could have a lawyer membership site easily with my background. I'm not solving just one problem. I'm not just doing lead pages for everybody. I'm saying I can help a large market solve all of their marketing problems. That's normally a very bad idea. Do you know why it's not a bad idea for me? Because I've done it that way for so long that I have a unique system, a unique way, a unique message. So there's market-based targeting and there's message-based targeting. The Fletcher method and the idea of using frameworks and kind of this whole linear simplified pathway doesn't exist, and it's different enough from what's out there that I'm finding traction with it, because you're all here. But you can only do that after you've done it with one little niche. So your framework, once you fill this out, and everybody, I want to see it in visual format. It's exactly the steps you take to get them from point A to point B. This will be the outline of a speaking gig. It'll be the outline for the book that you publish. This is how you run a webinar, how you figure out what the sections of your webinar would be or your video series. This is the conversation you have during a phone call. To answer a client sales call, to answer Drew's question from earlier, if I'm on the phone with a client, say I want to advise in a company for equity. So the only time I do one-on-one clients is when it's a contingency deal. So I have a software company called indigenous.io. I'm a shareholder in the company. I advise them. And what do? I sit down with the company. I say, well, where are you? What does your foundation look like? Who is your customer? What is your USP? What do you have in place for a funnel? What are the metrics there? What about traffic and your ascension policy? So I look at my kind of Fletcher method and I ask them questions. Just like Zach would sit down with an athlete, and I'm going to show you his framework in a minute, all the different things it takes to be a successful professional or collegiate level baseball player. There's baseline athleticism, there's mindset, there's nutrition, discipline, all these things. You're actually using this as your examination. You're the doctor, and here's your template for the doctor's visit. Like Pam, if you're going to get someone on the phone for a strategy session for your coaching business, you're going to ask them the questions and get the metrics related to what you can help them do. You're identifying their point A and all these steps. What do you do? How many leads are you getting right now? What's the size of your practice? Where do you want it to be in 90 days? That's point A and point B. Okay, well, I'm seeing that you're not doing step 1, 2, or 3 very well. And you're going to go from where you are now to where you could be in 90 days. It works for every single type of business. I'm literally following. So Drew's saying, do you ask all that in order? Yeah. So this is the most important takeaway. Drew says, well, what's going to be your lead magnet? Do you ask these in order, or do you start with the sexiest thing? So I start with what the client thinks is their problem. So if I go and look at my signature system, quote unquote, if I go and look at mine, bring this up on the other monitor. Whoa, it's ginormous. So if I'm going to have a conversation about mine, I'm going to say, well, let's look at where you are now, but I'm going to start with what they think is their biggest problem. Most people came to me thinking their biggest problem is their website. So what are you getting now in terms of traffic? How many conversions? What do you like and dislike about your website? Where do you want it to be? But then I say, well, guess what? It's not about this. The reason you're struggling getting those leads is because you don't have a clear market, a signature system, a clear offer in place. You don't have an easy to consume lead magnet. You're trying to offer like a consultation or a webinar or something on Facebook. You don't have a system to put them through. So, what are you doing for all these things now? Where do you want to be now? So what I'm doing is I'm literally dissecting how I can solve all their problems by showing them what their problems are. If you're not familiar with the spin selling model, it's just simply taking implicit or implied needs and turning into explicit needs. The client, for most of you, doesn't even know what they should be doing. That's why your expertise is so important. If they don't know what it takes exactly to be a professional baseball player, or to be a successful coach, or to implement a marketing funnel, or to reduce their profitability. If they did, they wouldn't be talking to you. So they don't even know what steps to take. So you have to say, well, here's the steps. Now let's look at where you are compared to these, and then come up with a plan for helping you get there. So the takeaway is, folks, please, please, please fill out this. I will review every single one of yours because it's that important. I want you to fill this out and literally take the time to do it, and it'll serve you well, because then all your marketing becomes easy. Once you have your USP and this in place, you just pick out pieces. All you're going to do to create your lead magnet is you're going to come up. Let's go to your lead magnet here. When it's time to develop your lead magnet, you're just going to pull out one of your steps. This is a big mistake people make, is they try to have their lead magnet talk about their whole system. So let me show you the perfect Coaches on Fire system, or the perfect athletic template, or the perfect how to be a professional drummer, or how to have complete happiness in life, or how to be an environmentally green company. Solve one problem. In your system, just pull out one step and use it as your lead magnet. So if you're talking to people that want to be a professional baseball player, talk about how to, like with Zach, we said how to double your bat speed. Boom, I'm going to solve one problem. If you're a drummer, let me show you how to triple, or how to play a Latin groove, or how to get your first gig, or the top 5 best tools for drummers. So people like things that they can grab, and if it implies a physical nature, then you're on the right track. If they feel like they can touch it and hold it like a cheat sheet or a toolkit, they want them. Now here's the counterintuitive part. The best thing you could ever offer somebody would be an hour of your time. But if I advertise an hour of my time on Facebook, hey, book a free strategy session, you see people doing that all the time. Nobody would want it. They don't know who you are. They don't know why they need it. There's no context. So if you start by solving a small problem, like the top 5 places for coaches to advertise, or like for Pam's business, let's say the top 5 highest converting Facebook ad templates for coaches, right? Or the personal development coaches toolkit, 5 online tools every coach must have. They want that because it's relevant to them and it's easy to consume. Then you walk them through it and say, let me walk you through that. By the way, this is only one piece of a 4-step process to a thriving capacity coaching business. Check out this webinar. I'm going to walk you through the exact steps you should be taking. For Zach, look, doubling your bat speed is very important. That's just one piece of this top prospect framework where we can take you from average to a top prospect player in the next 6 weeks. Check out this webinar or get on the phone with me for a consultation, and I'll help you craft a custom plan. So this is why all the folks that are starting with lead magnets are really not finding traction, because underneath the surface of the water, underneath the tip of the iceberg is the foundational work. It's more boring to do avatar research. It might be boring to fill out a framework and say, why do I need a framework? I need customers. So you go do a lead magnet, place ads, and then you hit a brick wall. So this is why I want you to take the time to fill out the transformation. So does that make sense? My goal is that you feel clear on what you should be doing, and so ask any questions you have, and I'll answer them to wrap up. But let me spend a moment and show you something in the community. I get this question a lot as well, is, okay, well, what's the pointed kind of direction I should be taking? Again, I'm going to put all these frameworks into one PDF so you can download them, but let me also show you. By the way, do me a favor, do yourself and everybody else a favor. Take 5 seconds and just say, welcome. Just give people one word. A lot of people are lurkers in communities. What they do is, like Bob Britton, it's funny, he's the Infusionsoft Marketer of the Year. He's one of the most accomplished business owners and marketing experts. He doesn't have a picture to talk about that. But just take a moment and say, go in here, you see brand new folks, and just say, people are putting themselves out there and they have a passion that they've been frustrated with. They've had some struggles, and just say, hey, nice to see you. Just take time and give a little bit. But in terms of what you should be doing right now, go to the Fletcher Method training videos, go through the foundation video, skip the website because that's not that important until you have a funnel in place. Go through the lead magnet training and the authority amplifier. So video 1, 3, and 4. Watch those, fill out the frameworks we covered today, and you'll have a bulletproof strategy in place. I really want you to kind of take the time to do that. Couple of quick questions. If you're struggling with something, if something wasn't clear from today, ask that now, and that's what I'm here for. And otherwise, I'll upload this recording and send you a PDF that has all the frameworks in one nice place. Rhonda says, if a company like Intuit has a goal to reduce their carbon footprint by 20% by 2020, if they switch from using 1 ton recycled paper to our stone paper, it will reduce their by 40. Right. So here's why relevance matters so much, Rhonda. Case study, if I had to take one thing into battle with me, like I had to create a marketing piece and I had to feed my family on it, no matter what, I couldn't fail. Gary Halbert said, write a direct mail piece or a sales letter, like and forgive the brutalness of the analogy, but Gary Halbert was a rough guy, but he's one of the best copywriters of all time. He said, if somebody had a gun to your head and they had to buy what you're selling, how would you write that letter? And it puts you in the perspective of like really nailing relevance. So if I were you, I would just pick one type of company. If Intuit is a top tier software company and that's who you want to help, you go help a company at no charge. Like if Zach had no customers, if Pamela had no clients, I would go get a client for free and serve the heck out of them and create an amazing case study. Like if I was going after veterinarians to increase their profitability, I would just go work with one for free, document what I did, turn their whole business around, work overtime till I can barely stand, and then say, I would advertise to every other veterinarian on Facebook, case study how one New Jersey veterinarian doubled their practice in 90 days using this simple 3-step system. That's why you need to have one relevant market, so you can have a relevant case study. Do we have any other questions floating out there? I am here to answer your questions. If you have anything else, upload your USP, do these frameworks, and go into the fast feedback section. Upload your USP. Just say, here's my USP. I help X. I always start with X and I run out of alphabet. I help a target customer accomplish this specific thing so they can achieve their biggest goals without the stuff they hate. And how much time and what metric am I serving? What's the currency I'm addressing? So this feedback form is a place to go. Any other questions? Let's see. Okay, thank you. Awesome. That's what I'm here for. I really, listen, don't let yourself get off track. If you fill out one framework and you're confused, upload it. Say, I need some help. And by the way, one of the biggest mistakes folks make is they go and create a video or a webinar and then they don't have a framework and then it doesn't work and you spend all the time to create it. Just do the outline, fill out the framework first, get feedback on that, and then go pay a designer or create the asset, right? Last but not least, a couple of topics we're going to be addressing in the upcoming training. We're kind of going through the method in order, but I'm going to go deep on a couple of things specifically. Creating content is one of the most important things you have to do because it exists in blog posts, webinars, sales letters, landing pages, in the coaching programs you have for yourself or in the way you serve clients or you teach clients. So we're going to go deep on content creation. I have a very specific framework. If you notice, all my content follows a really tight strategy about what's the big promise, what are the 3 frustrations, the 3 solutions, the key concepts, how to, a visual metaphor so people can see it and make it real, and then a kind of takeaway or a download and call to action. So I have a way to create content, whether you're teaching people or acquiring new clients. Then we're going to take that content. We're going to do webinar training, both evergreen and one time, so you know how to create a webinar. No audio. Do you have audio now? Sorry. Do we have audio? Sorry about that. I'm back. Sorry, folks. Lost audio for a minute. After we go through content creation, we're going to do webinars, both evergreen and one time. Actually, how to architect a high converting webinar like nobody's business. A lot of people get this wrong and they miss out on some key concepts, getting people to stick and getting people to take action and purchase your products or become leads. Then we're going to go into setting up an evergreen launch. So if you want to do a video series, and then Facebook advertising, and then we're going to go into content marketing and all kinds of good stuff once you're ready for traffic. Your goal right now is to really nail your foundation, your frameworks, your lead magnet. They're going to show you how to put that together into a funnel and drive traffic through it. So it's very, very step-by-step. It's very intuitive. It's like watch it, click it, do it, and get feedback. Wash, rinse, and repeat. It's very modular and I'm really breaking the stuff down into, like, if you show up, you can do it. It's not, you don't have to be technical or skip around like step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's my promise to you. I want to do this quick kind of bonus webinar just to kind of help you get on track and know what you should be doing in the next 30 days. I'm going to be uploading those frameworks all together in this video in a little bit. Any other questions, comments, concern? Okay, looks like my audio was good for everybody except for Pamela. Sorry about that, Pamela. Anything else out there? Any other way I can serve you? One more small deal. I have an idea that I've been running through some other folks, and I think it's really cool. If you're getting a good experience in the community, and you're finding it to be clear, and you're finding that it's helpful, and it's the bottom line, it's one of the best decisions you've made. I'm willing to do a mini strategy session one-on-one for everybody that can create a testimonial video of kind of what you're struggling with before, what you found in the community, what's been your experience so far. I'm totally willing to spend some extra time with you if you're willing to do a testimonial video so I can include that and get more members. I'm also releasing a partner program. So if you find somebody, other business owners, you hang out with people just like you that are struggling. If you find people in your communities that you think would benefit, we're going to have a very aggressive affiliate program launching before the end of October, so you can receive recurring commission on anybody that you refer to the community. You can literally, it's somewhere between 20 and 30%. I have to figure it out every month forever. So if you refer somebody to the community, you can kind of not only have your access be at no charge after getting a couple, but you can build a significant passive income doing that if they're good folks that are like-minded folks like you. So those are two exciting things we have coming. That's the training outline. I think I've exhausted my vocal cords. This recording, good question. Brian says, fear of getting too big. No, Drew, I'm already 250. That's kind of a lost battle, buddy. Just kidding. No, the community is not designed to be 12,000 people, but it's definitely designed to be a few hundred people, because people come in waves, and that's the whole thing is designed to be a larger community at a lower price point. And then when folks are ready and they have traction, then they can, if they want more help, they can become part of a mastermind. Losing. Okay. Fear about losing personal touch. Absolutely. But, that's just something where, good people are really active and engaged. There's never too many positive people that help each other and answer each other's questions, support each other. There can only be too many folks that are either negative or non-inspiring, which usually don't even show up anyway, and they wash out. So it's kind of with a bigger pot, you only get more gold. So cool. I'm going to upload this to answer your question. Where will this be? There's sections. I don't know if you guys probably can't see. I moved all the Platinum Mastermind content. We have live coaching and accountability calls once a week. And then for the normal community, all the coaching webinars go right here, live coaching webinar. So I'll put today's, and every other week that we do will all be accessed and archived in the community coaching webinar section, which you should see right here. Can you say more about the Platinum Mastermind? Absolutely. If you're interested, that you can just shoot me a message. And the Platinum Mastermind is just simply for folks that have marketing funnels, attraction in place. It's my goal is for a lot of you to be able to get there. I don't want to overwhelm you. You're doing the right things. You're in the right place now. But if you have traction, the only difference in the Platinum Mastermind is we meet more often. Everyone has a report with accountability. We share best practices. It's a smaller group. It's, I think 24 or so people now, but you can ping me offline directly. A couple of folks I've seen that are already kind of more advanced. I don't want to reach out to you because I think you're already on the right track now, but you can reach me if you want to know more. I'll upload this video. Thank you guys so much. I'm really honored to have you, and I'm really blown away by the level of folks and the amount of implementation going on. Just an incredible group coming in literally on a daily basis. So thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you in the community. Most importantly, do the homework. Upload your USP to the fast feedback forum. Just say, here's my USP, and fill out your frameworks. Cool. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'll do another section where I can help you directly next week. Again, this was just a quick bonus. So thanks for so many people for showing up. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.